take a look at the investment that the Catalogue Distribution businesses have invested in new technology, for example, e-commerce platforms, an awful lot of design support and purchasing support capabilities. I guess the next question really requires us to look ahead over the next sort of 12 and 24 months. As the market evolves, becomes more global, maybe some more manufacturing moves east. What shape is the Catalogue Distribution model going to evolve into, and what additional sorts of purchasing support services do you imagine becoming available over that period? Yeah, Glenn.
Okay. I guess if we consider the innovation that Catalogue Distribution is driving or trying to drive, it's very much driven by the needs of the customer. We're very much a customer-focused business, and we have to react to the needs of our customers and the changing needs of the customers. Those needs really are fairly simple. It's to find the right products, to get those as quickly, as painlessly as possible, and then to buy them, of course. And somewhere along the way, there's some design that goes on as well. And for the engineering community, we have to try and support some resources there as well. But I guess if we consider the trend that's moving from the offline world into the online world, it's really trying to make sure we offer the best experience for the customer. The best way to find the right components with exactly the right information surrounding that, the fastest way to navigate to those. There's nothing worse online than just not being able to get to the information you need. So really it's all about enhancing that customer journey and making sure they can navigate to the right products as quickly as possible. It tends to be that if you're on a search for a component, you might have differing needs as well. At a different time, you may just want to rebuy a bill of materials that you previously bought. It might be that you're searching for a new bit of technology or a new part to replace an obsolete part. So we also have to try and cater for those different needs as well. So I think over time we'll see an evolution of the types of journey our customers can take, and they'll be able to differentiate whether they just want a bit of repeat business or to actually start searching, filtering for different devices. I guess the other thing is that customers need to be absolutely sure that their business is secure, that it's a trusted and reliable site, because there are so many sites now on the internet, so many brokers developing, so many ways of buying components. But what's critical is that our customers are secure in the knowledge that they'll get the parts tomorrow. They are ordering the right parts. They're not counterfeit parts. So I guess there's a lot of work building on that trust and that security element as well, because buyers typically don't want to be let down and look crazy or look silly in front of the engineers who have asked them to source those components or their production counterparts. I think one other thing is really the connectivity that's developing now. The online world is developing into a 24/7 world. So wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is, you need to order those parts. So we're making sure that we have available services anywhere in the world for any customer to log in, order those components and get them in a very timely fashion. That's something you really couldn't do in the old offline world. And we're evolving those models to connect buyers and engineers in different geographies, in different regions. And I guess also by sharing a catalogue part number, you're sure that you're ordering the right part in China if it was designed in the US or in Great Britain or even in Germany. So there's a security and a security in that knowledge that you've passed the right information on. So it's really just about making the job of purchasing components as easy as possible and embracing all the online technologies that are coming through now.
Let's make a point also with regards to design engineers. If we go back a few years, I'm sure when the market was very different, design engineers had a lot more time to be involved with suppliers, be it manufacturers direct or be it distribution. What's happened over the last few years is the engineer has got much busier. He's got less time to actually do anything. And now the service is offered primarily at the top end of the market would be the catalogue type offering online. They can go and do it themselves, and probably the word I like to use is anonymity. The engineers do like to be anonymous. They've got to the point now where not so keen to have the FAE coming banging on the door every 5 minutes to push the latest and greatest. You know, we have to give them credit that what they're really after is the latest parts, and they've been a design engineer for many years. They know what they want. So typically now they're going online, they're finding their parts, and the best place for them to go is still the catalog side, who can offer them, you know, a far greater range of parts in an anonymous way, which means that they've got more time on their hands to do other things and get on to the next design. So I think anonymity is a pretty big thing. And I think what it's going to drive over the next few years is probably a rethinking maybe of the FAE economics of the industry, which is certainly an expensive resource for many distributors. And if you look at the model that Mauser has, we don't have any field people. We will not send anyone to come see you. Everything is online or into the customer service locations that we have. And the model is very much moving that way, that people are not always so keen to have people come visit them. It's a question of time. And back to, Glenn made the point there about customer service. If we look at it from a Mauser standpoint, we have no salespeople. You know, as a distribution company, we say we have customer service people. It is all about making sure that the customer has the right experience and comes back to buy the parts. So everything that you see from a catalog distributor typically is based around customer service, which ends up as a sale, but really the push is not there on the sales side.
Okay, thanks, Mark. I'm going to squeeze one tiny little question in right at the end, and we can make the answers quite swift, and I think I might know the answers before I ask the question. But in a period where a lot of purchasing departments are being asked to rationalise their supplier base and benefiting from that in many instances that we see, the question is, when it comes to catalogue distribution, is bigger always better?
Well, I'm going to interpret that as is global coverage always better? And I think if you're a global catalogue distributor, then absolutely yes. RS has operations in every corner of the globe. And for me, it comes down to, again, the fragmentation of design and then manufacturing, and the security of a design engineer in Germany passing on the bill of materials, the list of parts for his design, together with the catalogue part number to a manufacturing facility in Brazil or in India or in China. If a universal global catalogue part number can be supplied against every item, and we are operating in the manufacturer's country, then they can be sure they're ordering the right components from a trusted, reliable source. So absolutely, I think that's critical to continue to meet the needs of this fragmented design and production model.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, size is key, as is global coverage, and that's the reason why, certainly from our standpoint, we pushed outside the boundaries of the US, and now 38% of our business is outside of the US, and it's probably going to stop at a third, and a third, like most of the volume guys. But if you look at the market for catalogs, it really is developing into like a four-horse race. I mean, Glenn here and RS and the other company, who we're not quite sure what they want to change their name to, but it's many different formats. And then in the States, of course, we have ourselves and the friends from the frozen north, DigiKey. But size does matter. It's all about warehousing. It's all about logistics, about having the right number of franchises. And it's a very hard market for anyone to get into when you look at the investment which is needed to be made to do what we do. So I see probably in the next few years, bigger is better, and actually the big are going to get even bigger, and it's going to be an interesting next few years.
Okay, thank you. I've been making a few notes as we've gone along, and I'm going to make an attempt at kind of summarising the key points of the discussion that we've just had, because it's fascinating, and it spells out a real role in terms of the partnership that catalogue distribution can offer both design engineers and the purchasing departments over coming years. When we discussed the role of paper, it was fascinating to see that we've got to remember the different points in the economic cycle that different countries around the world are at, and For many, paper is a better product for them right now. That mustn't be forgotten. That paper catalogues won't necessarily disappear, but may just evolve into digital equivalents, providing the same sort of usability and friendly access that we're so welcome to. Comments that a lot of purchasing guys are using their printed catalogues to find parts and then to go on to the online e-commerce to actually access them. When it comes to USPs, unique selling points, that was pretty straightforward. It's range, it's availability, it's speed, it's low MOQ, it's a long-term supply capability, it's immediate access to new technologies, it's the ability to buy in a high mix and low volume environment, which is so important to industrial manufacturing, certainly here in Europe. The ability to access low demand devices right from day one. Again, a unique offering from them. And a simple and straightforward route to market for new technologies that are emerging almost on a daily basis. We asked about what was next, and it's all about user experience from what we can see. The ability to offer, to be able to sort of differentiate in terms of customer service and the level of value-added services that are on offer. But that can't take place unless the provider is trusted and is reliable and is secure. So there's a challenge for all of us to maintain that reliability and security as these services evolve. And really, finally, to conclude there, it's the ability to help the purchasing departments and help the design engineers as we move into an arena where it's becoming more difficult and more expensive to get qualified field applications engineers into those OEM and CEM sites. So it's gap filling into a vacuum there created by a different or a changing market. And yeah, I suppose the answer to is big better was what I was expecting, which is yes, for all the right reasons, which is that the world is a big place, so the ability to operate globally would seem sensible. And to support that, you need big logistics. So you need to be able to get the products to where they're required. So yeah, all in all, I think a very favourable outcome for the role of catalogue distribution in the electronic supply chain. So well, I'll just conclude by saying that it's over the years, having been involved in the publishing industry, being involved in printing paper products for an awful long time now, being involved in using catalogue distribution companies in sourcing components for the products I used to be involved in the design and manufacture. It's a trusted and reliable and very friendly way of doing business. And one of the most important things, it kind of involves all the senses. You can, when you pick up a catalogue, it feels heavy, it feels full, it feels glossy. It comes with a certain emotional attachment. And that will transfer across to the brands in that product in the same way that any sort of catalogue or publication does. So I think there's a lot of synergy there between the device manufacturers and catalogue distributors and the end users, which are hopefully represented amongst you here today. So I think at that point we can conclude. So thank you, panellists, for taking the time to discuss this subject. Thank you very much for listening. And if there are no further questions, we'll draw it to a close there. Thank you.